So it's time for a new deals of the week, where I will show you different gaming PCs that I think are a good deal. If you're new to this channel, you will have plenty of gaming desktops down below in the description in case your budget is not mentioned on this list. And don't worry, if you're looking for a PC build, I also have a bunch of videos around PC builds, because basically that is what my channel is about. So without further ado, let's start with this video. With the first one, we have an HP Pavilion. This one is the 1160 XT, and I think that is a great starting gaming desktop on a budget. It's around $600 and it comes with the i3 10100 and the GTX 1650 with 16 gigs of RAM. Now, I do recommend you doing some upgrades by clicking on customize and buy. You gotta change the memory once again to 16 gigs, then change the storage to 1 TB of hard drive or 500 gigs of SSD, which is faster, and then change the graphics card to the GTX 1650 Super, and the total price would be $740, but you will have a huge improvement over performance. And with the 1650 Super and the i3 10100, you're going to get more than 144 FPS on average in competitive titles, and you will be able to get a nice gaming performance in games like GTA 5, even at the highest settings, 60 FPS on average. So if you're looking to game on a budget and you don't really care about upgradability down the line, because this PC is not so upgradable, if you want to upgrade most of the parts, you will need a new power supply, a new case, and a new motherboard, because those three components are proprietary. And for the exact same price, $740, you can get the Victus 15L with the i5 12400 and the GTX 1660 Super. That will be much better than this PC, but you will need to upgrade the RAM and the storage, so the total price would be around $950. So if you're willing to spend $950 on a gaming desktop, then definitely go with the Victus 15L. I actually have a whole review talking about it, but if your budget limit is from $600 all the way up to $740, I think this PC is actually really nice to start gaming. With the next one, we have the deal of the week from Skytech. This one is the Chronos. It has the Ryzen 5 3600, which I think is the only downside for this PC. I will explain why in a second. Then you get the Skytech Chronos White Edition case with front mesh panel, so the airflow for this PC is going to be really decent. And then you get 16 gigs of RAM at 3200 MHz, 1 TB of NVMe SSD, a 650 watt 80 plus volt power supply, and here you don't get any proprietary component, so you will be able to upgrade everything. And then for the GPU, you get the RTX 3060. I think the 3060 is more than you need for 1080p gaming. I don't think that you need the 3060 Ti. It's more of a starting 1440p graphics card, so the 3060 is going to work great. The Ryzen 5 3600 is actually a really good budget CPU, but it's becoming old. I would recommend you upgrading it to the Ryzen 5 5600 down the line. It's not fully necessary right now. There's nothing wrong with the 3600. It's actually going to perform great at 1080p, but that's the only upgrade that I would make down the line for this PC. Other than that, I think this PC is great. Even for higher end video games like Red Dead Redemption 2, you will be able to run this at above 60 FPS even in high graphics settings. And you also get that ray tracing and DLSS feature because you get an RTX graphics card. For the next one, we have a huge jump on the price, but remember what I've said at the beginning of the video, you will have more budgets down below in the description, so don't worry about the price jump. This one is $1,800 and is another one from Skytech, but you can buy this one on Amazon and Newegg. This one is the Chronos once again, but here you get the i5 12600K for the CPU, a much better option than the 3600 of course, and then you get the RTX 3070, which is much better than the 3060. So if you're thinking of doing content creation and also gaming at 1440p or even 4K, go with this one instead. The only downside for this PC is that it used to be on a deal for $1,500, which is basically a steal. It's not anymore. Right now it's $1,800, but I still think that it's a good price for the PC that you're getting. So to recap this PC, if you want to do some content creation, that i5 12600K is going to help you a lot, and also for gaming, I don't think that you need the i7 12700K unless you're getting paid or you want to be a professional. And then we talk about a gaming PC that has the i7 12th gen, and then you get the 3070, which is going to be a beast for 1440p and even 4K gaming. Of course, if you're gonna spend a little bit more and go with a gaming PC with a 3080 instead, it's going to be better for 4K gaming. But I think that the 3070 is actually really solid for 4K 60 FPS on average, but it depends on the games that you want to play and the graphic settings for those games. Because let's say you want to play games like Valorant and CSGO or even GTA 5, then 4K gaming is definitely possible. But if you want to play games like Flight Simulator 2020 at 4K, ultra settings settings, it's not going to hit 60 FPS on average, but it's going to hit around 30 to 40 FPS. I think it's pretty solid. And then with the last deal, we have the Omen 40L. This one has the i7-12700K, the same RTX 3070, 16 gigs of RAM, 1TB of hard drive, and 500 gigs of SSD. The main differences here from the last one is that i7 12th gen and you get more storage, but other than that the PC is almost the same and it's $200 more expensive, and I think the price difference is not worth it unless once again you're thinking of doing some professional work with programs that require some serious CPU usage, because I really believe that the i5-12600K is more than enough for most of the users, but if it's not enough for you, then you may want to get the 40L instead. That was my whole list. Remember that I update this list every single week, so if you want to get notified on this type of videos, subscribe, but most importantly hit that bell button. And also, if you have any question, don't doubt and leave it in the comment section. I will try to reply every single comment of you guys, and always thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.